Hey friends, grab your Dremel because in today's video I am going to show you how to wood carve this little Viking box right here. These are super cheap and fun to personalize and make great gifts for yourself or your family. I am going to be teaching you a ton of wood carving tricks in this video, so I really hope you enjoy it. I picked up this little box right here from a local craft store for like $3. They're super cheap and really fun to personalize, so you're not out a lot of money. Now, the design I will be putting on the box is this Viking head you see right here. It's just a modified design of one I found on Pinterest. One thing I love doing is transferring my designs on paper first. This gives us clear direction to work from, and if I make a mistake, I usually make it here first, and so when I go to wood carve, I will negate any mistake that may come up. Here's a quick tip for you guys. If you want your design to pop and stand out, go back over your design again with a pen. This makes a world of difference. Now we are going to transfer this design. I'm going to start by putting the same exact design I just did on paper here and just try to keep all my markings nice and clean. The burr I'm going to begin carving with is a round burr from Urethane, and I'm just going to go around the edges here of the knots and keep my cuts clean and consistent. I don't want to add just a ton of pressure here, just a moderate pressure, and just ensure that all my cuts are clean. The next burr I'm using is the nail head diamond burr. These are great for making straight cuts. And for the rest of the designs here, I will be using this since a lot of them are just basic straight lines. Now, when you are doing this, you want to make sure you are keeping consistent pressure. Consistent pressure will ensure clean cuts. So just take your time and go around just the edges of your markings. Seriously guys, this is so easy. Just draw out something and just trace some lines with it. For the next part here, I'm using the knife on my Leatherman multi-tool to add relief to the knots. This just makes the cuts a little cleaner, so when you do this, you always want to pull away from your fingers. Now I'm going to clean the cuts up with a riffler file. I'm just going to go in and hit all my edges and everything with this and sand them down where they're nice and clean. And everything's turning out pretty nice. Now I'm going to be using the detail burr from Urethane. And what I'm going to do here is just add some more depth around the knots to make the design pop. For the next part here, I am using the dual wood burner from Razor Tip. And the pen tips I'm using are the Razor Tip and the small shader. And here's a design I put on the back of the box right here. It is heavily influenced from the game God of War. I think it looked really nice. So I'm just tracing out the pencil markings here with the wood burner. I would have wood carved this, but I want this to have another dimension of character. And I think the design turned out pretty cool. I use a razor tip right here to put the details of the beard in, but I ended up changing that and wanted it textured by wood carving it, so I just changed this all together. Now I'm just adding some runes to the front of the box and another design to wood burn. I am using basswood, which is a very soft wood, so I'm using a low temperature setting on my razor tip. So I'm making sure my burns are all consistent and nice looking. One of my favorite things to do to add character is to torch the box. Just be very careful in this step because that torch is hot. Don't hurt yourself or burn anything around it. I just go along the edges right here and it just adds this rustic flair to it, which is great. Now I'm going back over the beard with this diamond burr to add texture because that wood burning just wasn't doing it. And it actually ended up looking a lot better here after I textured it. Now to add depth and make the design pop out, I'm going around the edges of the design with a shader pen. This just makes everything pop and jump out at you. Just make sure all your burns right here are consistent and even, and everything will turn out pretty good. Now I'm going to apply some painter's tape to keep the stain from spilling over on other parts of the wood. Now the stain we are going to be using is Jacobine. It is a darker stain, and I'm putting this on all of the negative recessed areas right here. For the other part of the design, I am using Special Walnut. Now this right here just creates great color contrast between the two stains. I'm going to cover everything with this except one part of the design on the front. Now for my favorite part, we are going to faux a metal finish on the sides of the box. So we're just going to add our tape here and make sure everything's taped off. Now for this next part, we will need black and silver acrylic paint with some paint brushes, of course. If you guys would like to see more projects like this, be sure to visit howtowoodcarve.com after the video is over. It's a free power carving resource site, so be sure to check that out. So now what you want to do is just cover the sides with black paint, just entirely, get the whole thing covered. Now we want to take just a small dab of silver paint and rub it on with our fingers, just lightly tapping it on in random spots. Now this right here is what's going to faux the finish and make it look metal. And this is a little time consuming and can be tedious, but it is worth it. And you can see the result right here. That is looking fantastic. For the next part of the design, I'm using bronze yellow and black. Now I started off by covering this part completely in black, and I was going to use the same technique with the silver and just dab on the yellow bronze, but the color just wasn't having it. So I ended up sanding it and I reversed the process and it made it look better. So I'm going to put the bronze yellow on first, and then we're going to go to our black paint with our brush and just kind of dab on the black. This is going to make this look like a patinaed bronze worn piece, which looks great, I think. Okay, well, I got this finished up. Now I get to add some urethane. I am going to go with the spar urethane, which is in a spray can. That's probably going to be best for this. And here it is. I think this turned out super cool, and the best thing about it, these little boxes are so cheap. You can take it, customize it, give it as a gift, and people will absolutely love it because it's handmade. Now, if you do not have any local craft stores nearby, I will post some links below where you can get these. Thank you for watching, friends. I really enjoyed spending this time with you. Now do me a favor, leave me a comment below and tell me what projects you would like to see me do next. And also, if you haven't subscribed, be sure to do so, and also hit the bell notification right there. That way you will be notified when I have another upload. And as you know, share, like, and do all that stuff right there. I really enjoyed hanging out with you guys. I will see you in the next video. I forgot to mention, please check out howtowoodcarve.com. Go sign up. It's completely free. I have content on there that I'm not putting on here. So you guys may want to check that out. I will see you guys in the next video.